Make sure you look at the
Yeah, oh yeah,
lens.
yeah, because I'm definitely looking
I'm staring at the screen like, damn, we look good.
Yeah, for real. Yo, what's happening?
What's going on?
Welcome back, 77 Flavors.
You know what time it is.
You do know what time it is, and
It's time to subscribe.
if you go talk, let them know, man. Subscribe, hit the follow, share, notification button. We got hits out here, man, and we all
Today's a very special episode.
yeah, because it's almost 50 degrees,
Correct.
and so it's not as cold as it's
Basically
been.
summertime, baby.
Basically, but today is a very special episode, and we are excited to tell you about it. We're talking about the one, the only, forever in our hearts here in Chicago, Richard Hunt.
Yeah.
Let's break it down to who he was. Y'all probably like, who is Richard Hunt? You've seen his work.
Yes.
Trust me, you have seen it. And if you haven't, shame on you. But we'll show you later on. So we'll show you. So just to give you a brief overview, Richard Hunt, he was a South Side native here in Chicago.
Didn't he go to Inglewood High School?
Went to Inglewood High School. He went to a lot of schools actually in Chicago. We'll talk about that in a few. That almost looked like his work right there.
Kinda.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't think it is though. But it might be.
We might go over there.
Yeah, we like that. Wow.
Anyway, we're in Lincoln Park.
Yeah, we're in Lincoln Park.
Sorry,
hold on.
garbage truck.
Yeah, garbage truck. That garbage truck said, hey man, slide.
Honestly, we're in their way. We're in the entrance
they
to the
doing
alley.
their work. But like I was saying, he was Southside, went to a bunch of schools in Chicago. We'll talk to you about it.
Yeah.
But he got like national and world recognition for
Yeah.
being one of the most prominent Black abstract sculptors. And
Honestly,
damn it,
sculptor.
hold on, we got to move again.
Oh. All right, we just moved to the front.
Yeah, we just
We're
go.
not doing this.
This is significant too.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it in a second. But most significant, a Black abstract sculptor. His artwork is very different.
Very.
And used of different
Yeah.
materials.
He also, even in the beginning, his style and the techniques that he used were so unique to the time. His welding technique, he went to the Art Institute, and that's where he graduated from the Art Institute. He learned a lot of technique there, but he also was using, he was like in alleys looking for scrap metal. He would
Yeah.
go to junkyards and look for car parts. So
Coincidentally, we're in the
I
alley.
know. That wasn't even planned like that.
No, but that's pretty
But
slick.
yeah, I mean, so he was super creative in his technique as well from the beginning, kind of revolutionary.
Absolutely. To the point that he is well represented all over the world,
Yeah.
and especially here in the United States. He's
Super.
got a 7-decade spanning career.
Yep.
He has 160 plus pieces of art that are in 24 different states across the U.S. Also, he's in 100 plus public museums
Yep.
around the world. So we talk about a guy that is major.
Yeah.
We're not playing. We're
Right.
not playing. Also, speaking of not playing, we're about to go over and see if those are. And I'm pretty sure that is because it would make sense because we're standing in front of his Lincoln Park studio
Yeah.
that he had.
So in 1970, he actually came back. So after his he graduated from the Art Institute, he moved to New York for a couple of years, and then he came back to Chicago, and he moved into this studio in 1970 because he said he would never be able to get a studio like this in Brooklyn or in anywhere in New York, really. So he came back.
Give an arm and a leg.
So he came back to Chicago in the 1970s, where Lincoln Park was one of the first to be gentrified in terms of neighborhood, but at the time it wasn't yet. So he stayed here until his death in December of 2023. And his studio is wild. There's actually a ton of journalists that were able to visit with him in his studio. So go look those up. I believe Chicago Mag has a cool article on that.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
But let's go head over.
Oh, I do have one more fun fact about the building.
What's
So
up?
the building was actually owned by the L. So like the L was functioning out of here, yep, as the train passes by, which I'm sure you can hear in the background.
Yeah.
But that's what the building was. That's why it has super high ceilings and stuff like that. So it was perfect for his large sculptures on the
Look at
inside.
this. Look at that. Look at
Let's
that.
go to the park.
Let's go to the park, y'all.
Let's get it.
So it is it's sculpted by Richard Hunt.
Yeah.
I knew it looked familiar. But it makes sense because
Studio's right there.
here's a fun fact for you. The studio is right there where he worked. So I'm sure a bunch of different
It'd be
artworks.
wild if they got a different sculptor
Right.
to do it right in front of his studio.
Right, yeah, that would be
That'd be disrespectful.
That would be disrespectful. That's like getting a New Yorker to come talk about Chicago. Anyway, we are going to make our way around Chicago because we got some other pieces we want to show you that are
Yeah.
done by him. Also, we got some more history.
Yeah, we do.
So let's get it.
Let's get it. All right, so like we mentioned, he was from the south side of Chicago, and right now we're in Bronzeville,
Boom! I love Bronze.
in front of a sculpture right here, which I'll talk about in a second. But to kind of give you an idea of like how his art evolved or how it even started. So in 1955, he attended Emmett Till's funeral. And it was an open casket funeral. It deeply affected him because he was around this, he was 19. He said, I'm also a child, a black child from Chicago that often visits the South. This could have easily been me.
Yeah, and if you all are familiar with the open casket viewing of Emmett Till, his face was mutilated
Yeah.
from the lynching and the beating from down south. So,
Yeah.
of course, that would have an effect
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah. And so a lot of his art then he focused a lot on freedom, the concept of freedom, the idea of freedom. And he often said, all I want is to be free. And so you can see that in a lot of his work,
Yeah.
which our last stop is going to be more on that. But yeah, so he graduated from the Art Institute, went to New York, and then came back and stayed here. And this is one of his sculptures right here. And this is to honor I.W. Wells. So this right here, the sculpture is called The Light of Truth. And it is actually the first sculpture by the city of Chicago that honors a black woman,
Yes. Boom.
which is wild.
Kind of go back. His first artwork was the hero's head that was depicted of Emmett Till. That was 1956. That was his first, one of his first artworks.
Yep.
The art piece, the Arcane, that was in New York's Museum of Modern Art, MoMA.
Yep.
That was one of his early works. Also, they put that in there. That was also 56.
And then, he had a ton of accomplishments. I can't even begin to name them. But like in 1964, he was a visiting artist at Yale. In 65, he just has
Tons.
so many accomplishments.
Yeah.
You can visit his website, and he has his artist CV in there that lists. He has 18 honorary degrees.
18. Matter of fact, he's got a degree from our next and final location, which is pretty dope. We'll take you there and talk to you some more.
Yeah.
Ain't that dope? Let's get it. Sorry.
Well, we were both doing the same thing.
Yo, so we are back from Bronzeville.
Final stop.
Final stop on
You
this
can tell
tour.
how humid it is because look at my hair.
You said it's prison?
Prison.
Prison. So we're here at the Art Institute of Chicago. If you want to know some more dope history about these lions that you see between us, go check out the episode about the Chicago Lions. But we're here because this is where Richard Hunt actually attended school. One of the many schools here in Chicago that he attended. And the point of it is that he's got an honorary degree from here. Right? He got it. That's right. He got an actual. My bad. Hold on.
Actual degree.
Actual degree, and they have been one of the biggest supporters of him and his work and his legacy. And as soon as you walk in, there's a surprise.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go inside and see
Let's
what's
talk
up.
about it.
Let's get it.
All right, so we are in the entrance of the Art Institute, and this is the first where you first see it, right? So this is 1958, Richard Hunt, pretty early on in his career.
Yes.
And this was almost, I don't want to say directly inspired by his Emmett Till experience, but that experience was very influential to his work.
Yeah.
And this is one example because this was all about, it was meant to look like a stance of freedom,
Yes.
of strength, and kind of he pulled from like Greek monuments that stood in strength and freedom.
Yeah. And it's really dope because it's literally the first piece of artwork that you see when you walk into the Art Institute.
Yeah.
What an honor, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for it to be
And
like one of the first.
I think it's made of like car parts and pipes.
Yeah.
Like it's just so cool.
Yeah.
And his welding technique was super unique at the time. So
Yeah.
it's really representative of that.
Yeah, so if you're out and about, we know tourists are going to be here. Look at them, you can see them going up the steps right now, kind of taking pictures, and some people walking past don't even realize what they're doing, what they're looking
Yeah.
at. But if you want to see some more of his work, you can go around the city like we kind of highlighted, or if you are watching this outside of Chicago,
There's probably a statue in your city.
yeah, I mean, like you got a 1 in 2 chance, 50% chance, 1 in 2 chance. You got a 50% chance of seeing
Half
it.
a chance.
Yeah. Anyway, y'all know what I meant. You know what I meant. But
they?
yeah, right. But here's some really cool fun fact. If you want to see his last piece that he ever created, because unfortunately he passed in December 2023. So if you want to see some work that he did, his last work, it will be opening at the new Obama Presidential Library over in Hyde Park. His bird book
Yeah.
will be opening, and that will be on display.
He literally completed it right before he passed.
And
so
it
it's
was
very
that was an
special.
honor for him. So honestly, Obama said he is one of the best pieces or best artists to come out of Chicago. So pretty dope.
Yeah, super cool.
Pretty dope.
We can't wait to travel around the country and see more of his work. But this should be your first stop.
This should be your first stop. If
And
you,
then Bronzeville,
Yeah.
and then Lincoln Park, or whichever order. But
Right.
there's 3 opportunities for you to see his work here in the city. So
that
there's
we
more.
highlighted,
Yeah.
that
There's
we
more.
highlighted. There's more, and there's more to come.
Yeah.
Speaking of more to come, stay tuned. We got more fun things with the Art Institute of Chicago that we are going to be doing. So I don't know if we.
This is part 1 of a series.
This is part 1 of the series.
Thank you so much for watching. If you liked today's episode, please subscribe, share it with someone you love. That is the best way to support us, is to share our content. If you did not like this episode, that's all right. Maybe you just don't like art, and that's fine.
Yeah,
Go touch some grass, look at some art. Maybe it'll change your mind.
yeah,
And we'll see you next week.
yeah, buddy.